Welcome to another episode of the Best Accountant Near Me podcast, brought to you by SavvyWise, the AI for tax research and more. I'm Drew Flown, CPA, with experience, 14 years experience working in a public practice accounting firm, and about half that time as a director of an accounting firm. But today is not about me. It's about you, the audience, and our guest. It's about you if you're searching for a great accountant to help you with tax, to grow your business, or protect your wealth, since today's guest might be the perfect advisor for you. It's about you if you're looking to join an accounting firm as an employee and you're looking for an awesome place to work. It's about you if you're a manager of an accounting firm and you're wanting to use the best technologies for profitability and protection. So without further ado, I'm honoured to be joined by Bernadette Smith.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you for having me today.
You're most welcome. So I know, Bernadette, that you're a partner at Aspen Corp.
That's correct.
30 years.
30 years, and it's been a different journey. I didn't start there. I did actually start at another accounting firm in Midland when I first came out. Coming up from the country, I came down into Midland and was searching for jobs. Tried my hand at the ATO, tried my hand at the bank jobs that were going at that time, and I think I would have done about 30 to 40 interviews. So to budding accountants out there, what I do tell them is don't give up. You will find your niche and where you fit in, but it's a bit of a journey and take every bit of that journey with it. But went to Aspen and it was my niche of where I blended in. I wasn't a director when I started there. Within 5 years, I became a director.
5 years?
5 years in that practice, became a director, until the final stage is just more recently with our managing director starting to retire out. We've now all bought the rest of the equity and gradually on a progression path of growing beneath us. And as we get older as well, where the firm's going. So a bit of a change in view.
Yeah, brilliant. And about like the interviews, right?
Yeah.
Very timely, because yesterday I was sitting down a young CPA talking about the interviews. She's trying to get a graduate position.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, look, it took me about 6 months to get a job back then. And I had, not to float my own boat, but some really good marks at university, and it still took that long. So
yeah, I think that we can get discouraged, and you should never be discouraged. You're going into different atmospheres and you're looking for the right fit for you, and the employer's looking for the right fit for them. And just because you don't happen to be the right fit for them at the time doesn't mean they're not going to keep you on their books, and they might have, you might be just in that pool of there's quite a few good candidates that are out there at the moment, and we've got 10 of them and we can only choose one at the moment, and they really want to take on all of them but can't. So keep going for it.
Yeah, spot on. So you're a FCPA, past president of the CPA WA division and current divisional counsellor. Is there anything else I'm missing? Because that's a lot.
That's actually quite a lot, but there is quite a few other things I do.
Do tell us.
As well. So CPA has been integral in my mentoring as I've gone through my career. I am a female, and in addressing our new graduates, I did mention that when I started, the pathway was a little bit different for me. Not that it was different in the sense that anyone held me back. It was just that I had to find different mentors sometimes because I needed to bounce ideas off in the way I saw things a little bit differently and uniquely. But in saying that,
I can get that. Me and my wife are always talking about that, the way that the brains work a little bit differently.
So we have a little bit of a different mindset, and that's okay. I'm unique and different, but we are as individuals as well, and I like to celebrate that. So yes, I do other things outside. I do support family. I'm heavily involved currently in a new project for Pathway Patchworks, which is a neurodiverse parents group, support group. But during my journey, I have spent my time on PC committees, on sporting club committees, on giving back to the community, and I find a lot of pleasure in doing that. And yes, it's aligned to my work, but it's actually where I find my most joy sometimes, and making a difference where I can, giving my time back. CPA, started there as a young professional, but went on a committee straight away. So for any other accountants out there, I am suggesting they should get out there and join their accounting bodies, whoever it is, whatever committee they come across, because it gives you different passions and different ideas, and it allows you to explore your inner core of what you actually are trying to find for yourself. We're all here for a purpose, and you've got to find that drive within yourself and be you to make the most out of your career.
Yeah, no, you're entirely right. Like something that I've found after leaving Munro's and going around talking to more accountants, just like how, like I already knew the accounting industry and the profession is quite tight-knit, but it's even tighter.
Yep.
And yeah, definitely if I was starting out, someone asked me, what would you have like recommended to yourself? And networking was like the first thing that came to mind, was just get out and be a part. And, get more conversations going.
Talk to people and find different things about people and find different things that interest you.
Yeah, spot on. So today we're at Bar Botanic.
I know.
What a place, hey? It's a wonderful Perth inner city haven for people with the love of all things botanical, including rare and hard to find plants, as well as quality homeware and coffee.
Wow, the coffee's always there. I must admit, when I walked in here, it was amazing, because the thing I like returning to in the weekend is actually getting back into nature and just sitting there. And I'll often be found at a table with a coffee in nature reading this stuff. So it's really good.
I can't remember when I came across this, but someone was saying that we humans love it when, if we went out barefoot into the ground and just like stood there and stuff.
Getting grounded. Getting grounded.
How good that is just for the inner well-being.
Yeah, and for women's particularly, in the women's group that I do also participate in, so there is Business Women Australia, there is Courageous Women, there is a number of other
Is there anything
groups,
you're not doing?
The other groups that I get involved in, I mean, we're different and we are unique, and we like to get grounded and we like to get centred and really relax.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, good. Let's turn to the accounting specifically. We've talked a bit about your career.
Yeah.
What have you noticed in terms of like changes throughout that period?
Look, when I first came in, I must admit I was doing manual cash books like you probably were on the verge of seeing them going out, shoe boxes full of information.
Good old shoe box, yep.
We were handwriting and I was still typing, I think, annual returns in triplicate when I first went into first into accounting. So lots of changes since then, but we've been through change before. So I don't think the change of AI should be scary for everyone. We get a fear sometimes when there's something new, but I think there is so many good things to get out of it. Yes, there's got to be some boundaries around what we look at, but there's so many good things and positive things that come out of that. But we've been through the internet change where we used to get everything via email or a fax, and then we went to emails because the internet came in. So we've been through all that change, and during that time we've evolved in our work papers going into into being electronic when they used to be all paper ones. Our tax returns used to get typed as well when I first started, and now they're being electronically signed and sent out to clients. So I think there has been that gradual approach as we've been going through, and that AI has gradually meant as we've been getting there, that those systems have been getting smarter and faster at doing some things. There is still some obviously knowledge that we have to do our work, however, so it's not just
some Bernadette. Oh my God. I was again the young prospective graduate accountant I was talking to yesterday. I was saying the great thing about public practice accounting is you're learning all the time. Like 14 years in and I was still learning every single day. So
30 years in, I'm still learning.
There's a lot there, which is the great part, I think, about the industry.
So I think from my journey from being a grad, being embraced into my first practice, who I had a really great CPA who worked at the firm who actually mentored me, a female staff member who mentored me about the importance of actually knowing your legislation and your knowledge of where to look and researching and stuff like that, which we still do today. We're just getting tools that can help us do that a little bit faster and make it a little bit easier for us to be able to digest it a lot easier.
Yeah, so on that point, Nitin and I were talking yesterday on this, and we're sort of saying like, okay, so accountants are going to, when they do AI research, let's say in SavvyWise, they're not developing that skill of going around the internet or in even just existing search proprietary systems to search and find it.
Yeah.
And I was saying, well, yeah, they're not developing that skill because they're no longer going to need it. You were naming a few things throughout your career that you just don't do. Any accountant starting now probably has no idea how to do a fax.
No. That's right. Absolutely.
And that's good. You don't need to know these things. Like the valuable part about a research, for example, is actually having the right stuff in front of you straight away.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how to go down to the library and find all the right sources.
Yeah.
I could work my way through it, but there might be, that very rare chance that you need to do something like that. It would then be only that time that it's worthwhile learning that skill. There's no point learning it now when you're never going to use it until that eventually comes up.
Look, I love the library, and I used to love it in passion when we used to go to the CPA library, but there's so much knowledge, and how do you get the right knowledge, and what the tools that we've been given now is actually, really narrowing that down a little bit so that you're pulling in the right information if you're giving those questions, etc. And it's all about learning and reading from that information and then adapting and making sure it sits with what you've learned and how it goes. So I think to have it all pulled into a summary where you can digest quite quickly what it is and then go and explore a bit further if you need to. Around those sources, I think that's the power that we've got. And we've just saved 3 hours down at the library trying to search that. And you don't need to have that skill set now. When I look at my new accountants coming in, they don't really need to have the skill set to do a few things that I used to have to do daily. And that's in their everyday life, not just in what they do at work.
I suppose at the moment, I think, it's probably always bad at the moment, particularly there's always this hype, especially from something new and how disruptive it's going to be. And a lot of time I'm going around going, look, the change is only going to happen at the pace of humans. And so in our conversation, for example, you mentioned faxes, right? I was using faxes maybe up until 10 years ago, even though by most means they were obsolescent, but it still took that long for them to finally go away. And it will be similar for so many things, like shoebox. That's still happening. That's still happening. That hasn't gone away, even though there's all these things.
Exactly. So I think what we've got is just that gradual progression of how it's going to go, and gradually, as you say, they exit the industry. But it allows you to get time into doing the more important things, which I think is really important for why we did our degree in the first place, is that we went to actually help clients and we wanted to actually do business advisory.
So, on that, whenever someone mentions business advisory, I'm always like, well, what does that mean to you? Because it's such a broad term.
Very broad.
And I know that accountants can get quickly lost in business advisory. We want to do it, but what is it?
It is helping your client through every niche of their business, basically, the way I see it. So it's what the outcomes the clients need to be delivered to them. One of them might be they need a cash flow for the bank. One of them might be that they need some help with managing their monthly accounts to actually understand those financial statements. And that's a different set of business advisory that we're doing, where we're doing a monthly board pack or something like that for that business. Yes, it is so wide, and you could be helping them with getting finance for their fleet of equipment that's going in. You might be helping them negotiate something with the ATO and manage through some payment terms there. So business advisory is really wide in its scope, and it could be helping them set up a new venture and being on their board. It could be part of that. What are they acquisition, analysing? We do a lot of DD, analysing new business ventures that they're going into, helping them sell their business. Some of the work that I've really been inspired to over my last probably 15 years is the sale of businesses, and we do a lot of work in there. Is watching that client grow from maybe having one piece of machinery, if they're in machinery, and selling with 4,000 pieces of machinery, and getting that after 20 years in business, that return on that, and being involved and being able to assist them with the good financial information that you've gathered along the way, and watch them expand with one staff member to maybe having branches all around Australia, and then having, over 300 or 400 staff kind of thing. So I think business
everything that you're touching upon there it's all forward-looking things.
Yes.
Right? So
always.
But so much of an accountant's time has been looking backwards.
Yes.
And preparing, say, the BASs, the tax returns, all the
past information.
The past information. But so business advisory, if you could summarise it in a nutshell, is everything that can help
going
a
forward.
client going forward.
Yeah, so you're doing your tax and compliance stuff, which is the past. You've got to be looking at your present, where you're sitting. So you're often looking at your now. This is my now. So you've got your interims as well along with that. And then you're looking to the future, which is what boards do all the time with their budgets and that. And it's what business advisory really is you're strategically looking at their strategic plan if it's a bigger corporation, or even if it's a small family business. How are they exiting out of that business? Who's coming up to take over that business? Are they selling, planning for that sale? What are they in the business for? All of those things. So I think business advisory is broad, but it's the key is getting to know your client and having that, being allowed and privileged enough to be along that ride with them to help them through that journey.
Yeah, so great time to now talk about the clients that you work for, you thrive to work for, so that if there happens to be a listener here today who's looking for an accountant, what makes you love to service them?
What I'm looking for is a clear path from them for them to be actively involved in their business. So it's not just the compliance. Unfortunately, the government has rules and regulations we all have to follow as taxpayers, and that's part of our life, and the regulation won't go away. But that's backward thinking. We should be looking forward, and I'm inspired by new businesses in all different areas. So I've got Pilates businesses, I've got crane hire businesses, I've got clients that are in housing in Kalgoorlie and Indigenous groups, not-for-profits. Looking at, and I've got one that I've just picked up, which is looking at the future, where I see future going as well. And it's interesting as I see these new emerging businesses coming out, where they are going. So I've got one with digital social media and stuff like that. And those assistants that come in for admin and that, for the smaller businesses that don't have the capacity to have a lot of staff and doing it online or working from home.
So there's like a diverse range of industries.
Yeah, so diverse. And so through my career, I've gone through hotel chains, I've gone through all different things. But my passion really just comes down in knowing those owners. And so I will look at the work, and I want those ones that are willing to work with me to get the best out of their business.
How would you handle the question if it was someone prospectively coming to you?
Yeah.
They're like, Bernadette, why would I pick you as my accountant? You've got all this diverse industry experience, as opposed to, say, an accounting firm that specializes specifically in my industry.
Yeah.
How should they think about it?
I think they should think about that as having a wider scope of strategic partners that we can evolve with them. So while they may be in their niche at the moment, they may need to expand out into other areas. Part of what we do and the connections that we do is building those strategic partnerships with them as well, with their trusted software providers, their trusted banks, their trusted lawyers, their trusted financial planners, as well as that, to give them the whole holistic thing. So Aspen's all about that. And that's what I'm all about as well, is about that holistic approach to them. Yes, she may be in a specialised niche, but as accountants, we've been taught in all different industries. I won't know their business inside and out until I actually get to understand what they're doing. But it's that management accounting piece the business advisory brings in, and I don't get that feedback unless we can work together. So to be successful in any relationship, there's two parts to it. Yes, there is niche industries out there that will do that and dabble in certain things, and that's fine as well. But there's often also, once they get to a level, then they need to expand up and do different things.
Yeah, so I mean, you touched upon an interesting part there, where it's the business owner, as much as they're in that niche now, they might not be in the future.
No.
And yeah, I've seen that over the years. Like some of the most successful clients that I've come across, they're so entrepreneurial, and they build up wealth and they put it all over the place. So yeah, you need to have that sort of broad way of looking at things.
So what are they doing? They may be doing their business, but then they're going into property and they're buying property and property development with the proceeds of what they're earning.
Of course, property is there for an Australian.
Or they're going into shares, or they're going into mining, or they're going into anything, or other projects that they're interested in, or they're trying to expand their business to go into different fields that are going to give them a holistic approach to go to sell with equity partners and stuff like that. So depends on what their vision is, and everyone's vision is valid for that person, for their life, and
true.
it's taking on board that.
So let's turn to the actual working in an accounting firm and the technologies that we have these days.
Yep.
You tell us some of your experiences with automation and AI. Particularly, I think about a listener right now who may be an accountant or another partner of a firm.
I think it's imperative that all us accountants are getting on board with embracing the AI that's out there, not being fearful of it, trying our hand at new things, but knowing that we've got to actually explore that a little bit more. We've got to look. We've been trained with the right skill sets to look for insight, to give it judgment, and then to strategically get the answers out of that technology. Now, whether it's SavvyWise is product, which is great because it gets all the tax research in one, but doing your own due diligence, test it if you want to make sure that you're getting the right answer. Make sure you're doing that to make sure you're satisfied, because ultimately it is you that is actually giving that answer that's coming out. You're actually only collecting what we used to do and collect raw information, and this is no different, but it's just coming to us in one source and making it quite quick and fast for us. What I do see AI doing is really helping us learn and grow. The way I write something now, and I can have another opinion on that writing and say, well, have you considered this?
Yeah. So you could be like using SavvyWise.
You could write your own
and
piece.
you're learning.
Yeah, and you're learning.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you can write it in one way and expect an answer in one way, but then you learn something on, okay, maybe the way I am presenting this or I'm trying to do my argument is not, I haven't thought about this outer field over here, which has been captured because something said, have you considered this? So it helps you widen your view, because often we get down to, let's have a look, we might be doing some CGT, small business concessions, and we're narrowing our view on the client, but we have to think of the purpose of what we're doing. And if we can't widen it just to go, have you considered this over here? And what is that future if we go down that path? If we do take on that small business rollover, what's that going to implement down the future? We often get the technical answer, and we're quite good at getting that technical answer, but it just gives you that ability to question a bit more of the why and the what.
So let's dive into that further. Let's say before AI, and you're doing something on small business CGT concessions. Is the fact that you need to go wider, is that something that was already happening, or but how was it happening if it was happening? Was it happening where you had to have conversations with other colleagues, or was it just something that ended up having to go on the we can't do it thing because there's only so much you can do?
So I think you've always got, we're trained as accountants, and we've got specialists for reasons as well in every field. So there are taxation lawyer specialists and stuff that are out there to help us, to guide us through the more complex problems and stuff that we do have. But in a day view, when I was given a question, you collect your raw data, or you're getting your factual information to get that question together that you know of the question and the client. And then you're often going off to a resource, which might have been CCH or Nexus or one of those, which is your tax legislation being captured, or even a knowledge shop or someone like that who's got, where you can put an answer to. Even CPA had where you could put in your queries and ask queries and give some guidance around things. But you were doing that, but often I can do that, and I can expand and I can explore, and I can go to my colleagues and vice versa, get opinions on that grey area that we might be dabbling in with the problem that we've got at hand. But it's the ones underneath us that may not be doing that exploring, and you're also trying to teach them. So it might be coming at an intermediate level, you've given them this problem, but they've not explored enough, so you're trying to teach them the skill set. What this does with AI is it's something that's coming straight to them, where they would have had to come to me to ask that question. They're now getting the latitude to actually learn how to ask that question and consider some things. And they'll come into my office saying, and I've considered this, and this, and I was worried about this, and this, and what's your opinion on this? So they're coming in with greater information that we can have a more in-depth conversation without them going away again and then coming back to me away again. So I think there's a lot of time saving.
I really love this point about learning, right? Because
We're
And
always,
people commonly, the first thing about AI is like, oh, if it's going to take away
yeah,
the work, what are they going to learn? But you're actually learning
how to
better with
put AI.
with AI, because like if you were, say, using a junior accountant's using SavvyWise,
Yeah,
as opposed to before, they might have had to go, all right, well, I need to go and speak with Bernadette or
yep.
the other providers or that you mentioned there. But particularly if you need to go and speak with a colleague, colleagues aren't always available, right? You're like really busy.
That's right.
So if they're able to go and work and learn through it immediately with SavvyWise.
And feeling more confident because they're actually coming up with answers, exploring stuff on their own ability, and then coming in with some. And it's not always going to be that they've got the whole client's perspective, but it's the best way for them to have confidence to go out there and actually try and learn that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like having that person in right next to them to do things. We've all got different natures as well. So coming up to ask a partner or a manager a question sometimes can be really, really daunting. They don't want to. I was there. You don't want to look stupid when you're going into the partner.
Yeah.
But it's actually those questions, and we often say this, and we say it in interviews, don't worry about a stupid question, there isn't one. But it's still that rule.
It's still the nature, right?
Still the nature of people. And we're all different. So neurodiversity has taught me a lot about that.
Yep.
We're all different, and some people will just want to ask a question, but they don't want to bother you about that question. But they don't know quite about how to go about doing that. Yes, they will talk to their peers and stuff like that to get the answer, but imagine having that assistant that's actually helping you explore which way, and then you can bounce that off someone.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
Let's turn to the neurodiversity. You've got a real passion there.
Yeah.
Tell us about.
So neurodiversity, I've been on a journey all my life. I've had, and it's not just neurodiversity, it's mental health as well. But during COVID, that was highlighted for me. I was on public practice as the chair at that time of the committee then.
Yep.
And we brought in a mental health thing that every accountant could go and do because businesses were going through a crisis during that age. Fortunately, I'd have some years of experience with mental health and could understand. And as accountants, we get involved with the clients, so we're seeing those little things that help businesses and can make them struggle.
Your trusted advisor at times, counsellor in a way.
Yeah, and so we need places to turn to try and guide and help and stuff. And I'm not a professional in that area, so what I've learned is that how to deal with counselling and how special psychologists, the counsellors are in helping us navigate and negotiate through complex conflicts sometimes.
The classic, like, are you okay?
Yeah, are
question,
you okay?
But like knowing how to
do that.
actually handle that.
Having explored that with my mum and going through some things as I was growing up, she had bipolar all her life and I was managing all through that system. But then seeing it evolve into my marriage, into my husband having it, and then also into my children because it follows in pathways. My daughter's got ASD and she's got ADHD. Brought me wonderful opportunities to learn how to think differently. That I wasn't, like, the norm is not the norm. The norm is everyone out there. I'm not the norm. Everyone's different. And I've got to understand all different perspectives on how they view things, to looking into the workplace and empowering those, because these children are coming out through, and all of us, into workplaces, and they've got to have the right areas to work in. For my daughter, having headphones on to focus is very important. So I'm very passionate. But going through that mindscape as a parent, as you're working and running into professional women and parents working who were trying to juggle and don't know where to get the answers. Yes, we've got lots of organisations, but how do you pull that in? So, yeah, very passionate about having parent groups set up so that you've got someone to talk through what you've gone through.
That's great. Well, I think we'll probably have to have a discussion.
Separately.
Okay, just separately on that at some stage. So, turning back to accounting, what's the benefits of working at your firm?
What I think the benefits of working with our firm are is that we're looking for people that are really passionate about accounting, of course, but the one benefit I can say we give is we give a lot of training, we give a lot of time in mentoring them through their journey. I've seen our We've got long-term staff, so obviously they've moved in different areas through their career. I've also been given that latitude to have your families get that work-life balance happening and making sure that you're learning along the way. So, and having good technology and taking up options and always being exploring into the future where we're going. One of the benefits I think we do. Obviously, we like to have a lot of fun in our social settings and stuff like that as well.
Oh, I love a good social event.
So we like to do those types of.
What was the last social event you did?
We just did a lunch this week.
Yeah,
So we had we have a monthly lunch, which is really, really great. We celebrate special milestones at that lunch. And if anyone's, this month we didn't have anyone, but last month we had 3. So we had a few people celebrating 10 years with us and just having a general chat about how they're going and what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
So those things are passionate to me. We've got our end of financial year coming closer because I say February, we're already in June. So I'm thinking we'll be in June. So we'll have that coming up. We have a morning tea. We have all of those things that go on. And there's the odd, odd lotto dabble at the moment with all the draws going on and stuff like that. A lot of events around International Women's Day coming up. So we've got some focus on that. So we do a wide variety of things.
Yeah, brilliant. And for the professional body, CPA? Yeah,
CPA does so many wonderful things in there. So I can only speak highly of getting involved with whichever professional body you're aligned to and actually giving back, and because you get so much out of that. Being a mentor, if you are a CPA out there, being a mentor, what you get out of that relationship is really great. And we've got some talent coming out there in the industry. Being in the young leaders and being out of the universities, just listening, they're all fearful as well that AI is taking their jobs. So that was very interesting to hear some of their comments coming out. Why should they be finishing their degree and coming into the industry? Because for them, it's hard to know what they're navigating kind of thing. So I think for them, and I said it at the time, to be able to have those skill sets and learn those skill sets coming into an industry is only going to enhance what they're doing, and that their jobs aren't going away. We still need productive skills, and there's always going to be emerging future-proofing stuff that we have to do as we go through, and AI is one of them.
It's nothing new.
Yeah.
It's like a different name, but nothing new.
It's technology. That's
we need to, as accountants, know how to use the right technology, understand, of course, our debits and credits.
Yes.
Right. And then the people part.
Yeah.
Right. Working with your colleagues, working with your clients.
Yeah.
Humans work with humans.
And I think it's really exciting seeing some of the AI come into software packages as well in general in accounting software. So you're getting your little help going in there, automatic bank recs and automatic this and automatic that, which was always going to come over time. And it's there.
Well, we were hearing it like 10 years ago. It's going to do everything. And we're 10 years down the track and we're going, actually, it doesn't work perfectly.
But we still need to check it. So that's that judgment call. So we are still going to be doing things, but we're going to be doing the right things, which is checking stuff to make sure that they align with what we're expecting it to be.
Yeah. On the mentoring with CPA. I recently joined up, and I'm heading over to UWA.
Oh, wonderful!
For an event. So looking forward to that one, and I'm really glad you mentioned around the university and that anxiety around what the future looks, because I can help.
You can help guide. So that was a very interesting evening to me, and that's why I say I learn every day, because what I think is okay, I'm learning that they're fearful of what they're coming into. So it's
learning every day.
Yeah.
You were mentioning just before we started the recording about like what AIs you've already used today.
Oh, absolutely. I was trying to work out what did I touch on in my house.
I think the important thing to recognise now is we're talking early in the morning, or like right now where we're recording this. So it hasn't even been long for the day.
No.
What have you been using?
So I looked to just see what did I use to read. I used to sit and try and read a newspaper, but now I just gather on a computer what are the main articles that have come out today that I need to be aware of.
Oh, yeah.
What's changed in finance. So I do things like that in the morning checking calendars where I can just do a summary now of what's on in with my colleagues today. If I need to grab someone, because I do want to bounce an idea off someone, what's on their calendars today, I can actually go now into Copilot and grab that information and have a look and see what that's doing. So it's really fast information that helps me go. I've used things like I've obviously use your phone with Google Maps and stuff like that to get to the events you're going to. I've summarised notes and stuff from my previous talks and stuff that I've had early this morning. And then I was looking at, okay, well, what else impacted me? Did the lights change? So I heard recently I'm doing an AI course with CPAs with the University of New South Wales, and what I found very interesting coming out of that was how that in Sydney now they've got buses that if they're running behind time, all the lights go green for them to make it back on time.
Get out of here.
So they get back, so they get back on routine. So then I'm thinking, okay, should I be sticking behind the bus here? Are we doing it here? What AI is helping me today get to my place of employment faster and stuff like that.
It's just everywhere, hey?
It's everywhere. And it's that recognition. I used it last night at a collaborative professional. So it was so that's another industry I'm really passionate about as well, is collaboration. But we used it there to scan in and scan out. So it's in our day every day. So I will touch on just on collaborative professions. So I'm heavily involved with that, which is to do with estate planning and divorces and taking it out of the court system. So I'm a financial neutral trained, which means that we, with the right divorce situation or separation situation, we worked with a coach that's neutral, which is a psychologist or someone to help, and a neutral accountant, and then there's 2 lawyers, and we try to do it out of the court system. And so how'd
you get involved with that?
So that's having great success. So that's being after seeing so many of my lovely clients have to go through some hard times during that when they're separating or going through a split. It can cost, and it can really emotionally burn out the people and the children that are involved in that relationship and the families. So as I've been going through that process, I was listening to conversations, and they said, oh, well, there's this new thing. Now, it's not new. It's been here since 2002. But to me, it was new. And so I went exploring to find that a bit more. So that's been empowering to see that you can get, after a few sessions together, a resolution that most of us want anyway. We just want to get through looking at it and I can't promote enough that we should be looking towards
accountants
involved in it as financial neutrals. And you're really just helping them what we do when we go to court, which is do their financial statement of assets and liabilities and do that thing, but in a more collaborative approach, so that we're just trying to agree in rooms, and you'll be together and you have a few meetings, and they have a few meetings with their coaches first and separately to gather that information faster and keep the cost down.
Oh, thanks so much for sharing that.
So that's another endeavour. I think it's very positive coming out of where we're going.
Excellent. Is there anything else you want to share?
Every business owner goes into their business for a niche reason. It's working out that you've got the right learning approach to wanting to grow with your accountant, because your accountant can only help you if you're willing to get on the journey with you. Okay.
Share the information, right?
Share the information. So I'm not going to know what every industry does to the minute, because that's your specialty as a client. My job is to try and get that information out and draw that out so that we can help that business grow and use something and help them learn what the financial statements are and ask those why questions as well.
So it's like you want a client who's going to be actually sharing the information, understanding it's a collaborative approach. And then you're all, because you got to work together. Otherwise,
you've got to work together. Otherwise, it's not just it's an accountant. I don't want to. It's compliance that we're working for, but it's not. It's about that journey of growing that business together.
And when you're attracting accountants, do you normally go and aim for graduate accountants, experienced accountants? What are you normally looking for?
We've got a lot of long-term staff, so that we're very fortunate in our business to have that. We are always looking for graduates. I think graduates are the most wonderful people in the world because they bring in new eyes, fresh eyes, new tools, skills that they've learned on their journey. So yes, we're picking up a couple of grads every year. We always are looking out for outstanding staff as well who have got passion and drive and want to get there. What I'm after, the most I'm after in a candidate, and it's not actually it's not a degree or something like that, it's the curiosity of learning.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Curiosity of, but why?
Now you're making me think of my 5-year-old son.
Yeah.
Why?
But why? Because that's how we learn. The curiosity of learning is what is needed in everyone to actually really drive where they want to go.
So for these accountants who want to apply for a graduate position, where do they go?
So just to our website.
And same with the clients who want to.
Yep, absolutely. We've got take ups there, or they can contact us directly.
Yeah, excellent. So, of course, I want everyone on the listen to the podcast to go on trial SavvyWise.
Absolutely, SavvyWise is I mean, from what I've done, I've just shown it to a few of my staff more recently, and they were blown away about what it did and how it put things in that context. And you could then just, grow a little bit more to explore and get the right answer that you're looking for. To bring in not stuff you don't know, you do know it. It's just to collaborate it all together, but then to go back to those sources and have it put into a specific way of how we read stuff. I mean, we are a unique bunch sometimes when we look at our legislation. So I'm not going to...
No way, accountants are a unique bunch.
We are a unique bunch when we get passionate about our legislation, that is great because that's what we're about. It's about looking at that.
Yeah, fantastic. So... Look, I've what I need to do now for you is I have a little gift for you that we've got from Botanic.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wonderful.
I was looking around the store
that is perfect.
I kill plants like no one. Like I definitely, easy as. This, you can put the water in there and then it basically works itself out. Self-watering glass pot.
This is amazing. We've got some plants in ours that are doing the same in the office. So I'm looking forward to this because I've not had some good experience recently in the house with orchids. I've been dreadful on the orchids. I'm good on roses. I'm good about things, but thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
That's what I'm going to say. Anyone that's in Perth, they've got to come and check out Botanic.
Absolutely. That looks amazing. I can go into my bathroom straight away.
Excellent. So until next time, enjoy the AI-assisted future of accounting starting right now with SavvyWise.